a juvenile monkey named Rozy and her family lived in the wild. She was incredibly inquisitive and daring, constantly discovering new locations and meeting new acquaintances. One day, Roni, a charming monkey from another colony, came to visit. They fell in love and enjoyed a great deal of time together. But after a few weeks, Roni had to go back to his own squad, so their joy was fleeting. Rozy was devastated, but she soon found out she was expecting Roni's child. She was terrified yet also ecstatic. She understood that caring for a newborn was a significant responsibility, and Roni wasn't there to help. She made the decision to conceal her pregnancy from her family out of concern that they would disapprove of her relationship with Roni. She wished Roni would return eventually so they could have a family. She also prayed that her child would be healthy and robust because she had heard tales of newborn monkeys that were either born too early or with little strength to live. Happy monkey Rozy gave birth to a son named Roni by miracle. Although Roni was born too soon, he lived and got stronger every day. More than everything else, Rozy adored him. However, not everybody was delighted for Rozy and Roni. Some of the rude and envious monkeys in the wild. They weren't fond of it. Rozy gave birth to a child with a troopmate of hers. Roni's differences from them rankled them. They objected to Rozy and Roni's happiness. They made the decision to make life difficult for Rozy and Roni. They would make fun of them, mistreat them, and pester them. They would be chased away after stealing their food and destroying their nest. Anything would be done to harm them. To keep Roni safe, Rozy attempted to ignore them. She prayed that one day they will go away. She wished Roni's father, Roni, would return and assist them. She thought her family would approve of them and be supportive. She made an effort to nourish herself and her infant, getting enough of rest. But as the months went by, she began to experience increasing amounts of fatigue and discomfort. She felt pressure and agony inside of her as well as her baby kicking and moving. If something went wrong, she questioned. She once awoke one night with a severe stomachache. She became aware that she was about to give birth. She froze in fear, knowing it was too soon for her unborn child. Being born, even though she was only 7 months along, she knew that typical monkey pregnancies last 9 months. She was clueless about what to do and where to go. She wriggled out of her nest and started searching for aid. However, nobody was around and it was pitch black and quiet in the forest. She was afraid and isolated. She wished Rozy had been there to console her and hold her hand. In search of a helping hand, she stumbled through the forest. She sensed something moist between her legs as the discomfort increased. She was aware that her kid was on the way out. She was unable to stop it. She looked for a quiet area and sat down on the ground beneath a bush. She exerted all of her power in an effort to force the baby out. In pain, she yelled, but no one could hear her. She had a sudden sense of relief and a final push after what seemed like a lifetime. A little creature was resting on the ground next to her as she looked down. It belonged to her. She tenderly took the infant in her arm. It was extremely tiny, wrinkly, and had thin eyes closed and fur. It appeared frail and defenseless. It didn't move or make any noise. Rozy experienced a wave of anxiety and love for her infant. If it was living or dead, she questioned. In an effort to sense some indication of life, she gently massaged its back while holding it near to her chest.